And said, drop on share with dear Ofori. Or say, you're a Ofori Atta or your former finance minister. Will declare no wanted, will be a Ojani free at 10. A Bushafor, you're a Ofori Atta. Busumi Ekemu, a Dana Busumi no free, or Mayan Oko, or Serpine, every chief of staff, Yamami from all. Ebra, you're a chief of staff of Fra, or we buy a Euro Zebra, a buy. Or some truck cutter as hard man. Say, oh, we're free of my moon, so here be information. San said, the Dibra know you are Ben. Obey Yano, a war. A year provided a point of a password, the Bemano, and there are best who email linear the Adinian address, and baby and phone number Niyama. I am now 24th, and a special prosecutor out on the cat as we have. Now, I think the two more. You're not going to write a lawyer for extra bread. Say, a woman 2 practice. A couple of million with 2 kinds. And you know, or heck, now boom, deny us into Boba. What's the going to Massintino, or Monfa, a prayer of a bank and crowd. Omukaya, Afi, hospital, grandpa. You're not going to write a woman. Omutu Kata at the bread. Say, a hammer, who is now the and in the one in answer, any who's a staff and you open him back one. A fellow Japan, it didn't want Omako you up in the ratify. I go here to trust my bra and Rabia Mahokai, will redeem Bonum and some fata. Yera special prosecutor and Becca Assembly Tia was what you hear you are in the Rata woman. Never they ask him. Some say a castle of people near from Round and I said, you can't win exactly why you're the chief. You're up in the Frataco was certain. Or why was our truck at us as certain. Or horse wouldn't away of food a deep in South Shore. Was I cried the hospital? I won't call crack cat as up. Last year, a brother special prosecutor will hear you. Air bars on nothing. Who's the way out when you back home? You're a Mahama near back home, none letting home. Who are playing? Elko Yuki and Nico. It is a open say whom on prayer. I'm not in a home for playing now soon go hospital and now soon go. Near who is a near special prosecutor here. A year, a dear, and Kaye and some fata. Sabi, you're rocking with Rato Yanko here. Now, my main person should be on the MPP party and your members. And no Biama or Bemubian. You're not even free attending. Name, say, yeah, for Petupine. Now, your day and in Guasia Pine Bee or Yao Pine Bee. Now, you didn't say a good of you no more. Sunset, wait, Yanka, you want as an army. Now, what you mean, Penano, which you are Kata, I've always really by a woman. I ask someone, ask him. A BM Swaya. Your penny back on also MP, Dr. Sheikh Mustafa, basic mistake in labeling a person of interest who has not been charged and remains in contact through his lawyers as a wanted individual or a fugitive. Isn't that odd? A respected legal personality, a former director of the Ghana Law School, Mr. Ařřè, says that this act is not only barbaric, but uncouth, uncivilized, and unethical. Ladies and gentlemen, Ofori Atta is not evading accountability, as the OSP claimed. On January 2nd, 2025, he wrote a letter to the then Chief of Staff, Madame Frima Oseo-Pare, that he was traveling to the United States for a follow-up medical visit. He included his current and reliable contact information at the end of the letter. On January 22nd, 2025, Mr. Ofori Atta again wrote to the new Chief of Staff, Mr. Julius Debra, to inform him that he was overseas for a medical examination. He concluded his letter with the following: please do not hesitate to reach out if there is any information you need in the interest of the state regarding the fact that I've been or I've held some formal positions in government. Mr. Ofori Atta also provided reliable email addresses for any required communication. He also attached his letter to the former Chief of Staff for Mr. Debre's reference. 2 days after he wrote this letter to the Chief of Staff, the Special Prosecutor sent a letter, and this was January 24th, 2025, sent a letter to Mr. Ofori Atta's residence regarding a directive to appear at the office of the Special Prosecutor on Monday, February 10th, 2025. That was the day for him to appear, to discuss suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses. The letter also enumerated 4 matters being investigated by the OSP. Then on January 31st, Mr. Ofori Atta responded to the Special Prosecutor's letter through his lawyer, stating that our client notified the former Chief of Staff in earlier January and more recently informed the current Chief of Staff about his trip outside the country for medical reasons. Our client is currently undergoing medical observation and test, which will lead to a decision about his treatment. After that, he will have a clearer idea of when to proceed to Ghana. Therefore, we respectfully wish to inform you that we will notify you of his arrival to the country so that you can reschedule your invitation to him for purposes stated in the heading of your reference letter. Then on 5th February 2025, the Special Prosecutor responded to Mr. Ofori Atta's lawyer, stating that the OSP declines your request to be away from the jurisdiction indefinitely on medical grounds based solely on your statement. You are required to indicate by the close of business on Monday, February 10, 2025, a reasonable date for your return to the jurisdiction and attendance to the OSP. If you fail to do so, the OSP will take all necessary legal steps to secure your return to the jurisdiction and your attendance to the OSP in our discretion. Let me make this reference quickly. You recall that there was also another matter the OSP was investigating. The famous Airbus, the intermediary 1, intermediary 2 to 5 issue. Mr. Kisieja Jabin told us in August last year that he traveled all the way to UK to interview Sam Mahama, John Mahama's brother, intermediary 5. So what stopped him from doing same to the former minister? This is somebody who is saying that I'm seeking medical attention. The health facility wrote a letter to the OSP. It was signed, dated, and it was an authentic letter. So if you think that you need a person badly for your investigation, just as you travel to UK to interview Sam Mahama, what then stopped you from doing same to former finance minister? What is so urgent that you cannot wait? What is so urgent that if you could have waited 2 years before he interviewed Sam Mahama in the famous Airbus issue, then why this haste? And even if you do the calculations, We are talking about just within the space of 2 weeks. So you request the presence of somebody. The person says that I'm out of the jurisdiction for medical attention. You have received letters from his lawyers. You have received letters from the hospital signed by a medical doctor. And all of these correspondence is just within 2 weeks. Then, quickly, you label the person as a fugitive. Very, very bizarre situation. On February 7th, 2025, in a reply to the special prosecutor's letter of February 5th, Mr. Ofori Atta's lawyer stated, "Please find the attached document indicating that our client is receiving attention at the Mayo Clinic in the US. It outlines his appointment and suggests a date after March when our client may be able to return to Ghana." A date after March. March is just next month. The letter from Mayo Hospital stated that Mr. Ofori Atta was undergoing further testing and management, including possible surgical intervention in March 2025. The hospital's letter provided reliable contact, a doctor's name, the department name, a phone number, a reliable email address. It was also stamped Mayo Clinic authentic document with a signature and a date. Nonetheless, the correspondence between the OSP and the lawyers on February 11, 2025, 12 men, including 1 police officer, 4 military personnel, and 7 unidentified individuals in plain clothes raided Mr. Ken Ofori Atta's home. Video footage of the raid reveals that one Richard Japa, a third accused in the famous ambulance trial case, accompanied the men into the residence of Mr. Ofori Atta, all armed to the teeth. Ladies and gentlemen, the OSP, as being unreasonable, might be justified in harboring suspicion. However, Mr. Ofori Atta was already out of the country well before OSPs contacted him. He traveled on the 2nd of January, and your letter to him came in on the 24th of January. So how could the man be labeled as a fugitive when he was already in the country? Indeed, he was not even the finance minister about 8 months before the election. And you, Mr. Kise Jabe, you were the special prosecutor. And he was in the country throughout. For 8 months to the election, you could not invite the person. The person steps out of the country for medical attention. And it is not as if you wrote to the person before he traveled. Your letter came 2 weeks after he had traveled. And yet, you unreasonably labeled this person as a fugitive. Very, very, very unreasonable. To avoid any misunderstanding, since he was appointed Minister of Finance in 2017, Mr. Ofori Atta has consistently demonstrated unwavering transparency and respect in response to all legal inquiries and state investigation involving him. The era-born conflict of interest probe by Ařřè, the vote of censure by Parliament readily comes to mind. Mr. Ofori Atta has remained present, fully engaged, and open with the relevant authorities throughout these proceedings. His long history of openness and cooperation reinforces a commitment to upholding the highest standards of integrity. Mr. Ofori Atta can never be a fugitive. He is not a fugitive, and he will never be a fugitive. The OSP got it wrong. He got it wrong. Once Mr. Ofori Atta's doctors declare him fit and healthy, he will return to the country. Until then, the special prosecutor should avoid making sensational statements, provoking public emotions, and creating drama over the matter that could have been adequately resolved through correspondence. If you label your former finance minister as a fugitive, which indeed is not so, what you are doing is that it's a national embarrassment. It amounts to national embarrassment. When indeed, the length of your correspondence is just 2 weeks, and you can't wait. It's not as if the person is lost. The person cannot be traced. Again, the special prosecutor also mentioned in his press statement yesterday that the former National Petroleum Authority boss, Honorable Dr. Sheikh Mustafa Abdul Hamid, is a subject matter of investigation. Again, in a very bizarre situation, you put together a press conference, you state that Dr. Mustafa Hamid is a subject matter for some investigations, that is corruption-related offenses. Yet, at the time you were making such a statement, Dr. Mustafa had not even received even a text message, even a letter, even a phone call, nothing, no correspondence that you need him for investigation. Is this fair? Is that how you do your work? It is interesting to note that Honorable Mustafa has not received any invitation from the special prosecutor or any state investigative body, nor has he been under any investigation for any said alleged crime. Let me state that the MPP, we are going to cooperate with any state investigative body. We are the MPP, our members, past CEOs, past officials, anybody. We are going to fully cooperate. Let it be known that the New Patriotic Party and our members are law-abiding and will cooperate fully with any state institution. But however, we will reject any form of political harassment. Any form of political harassment. What happened in Mr. Ofori Atta's house is very unfortunate. We are not in a jungle. What happened there? And for the special prosecutor to even say that his intelligence revealed that what happened in Mr. Ofori Atta's house was staged, managed. It was staged by himself. It's very unfortunate. When especially we have CCTV footages showing all of these men in uniform, all the vehicles used, and one Japa leading the men. So the OSP got it wrong. What kind of intelligence is he gathering? What kind of intelligence? Ladies and gentlemen of the media, let's move on to the next issue.